One day, Jack was shocked to see his son, who was usually lazy and uninterested in studies, deeply engrossed in books. He quickly brought him some food and said, "I saved this for you." But his son was so lost in reading that he didn't even hear him. Seeing his son studying with such focus brought tears to Jack's eyes. He began dreaming that his son would one day become a big officer, marry a rich girl. After his son finished eating, Jack quietly picked up the dishes and went out to share the good news with his friend that his son had finally changed. His friend said, "If he started working hard now, who knows? He might even go back to college and become an officer by the age of 23 or 25. Hope lit up Jack's face. He felt that maybe his son would finally change his destiny. But then the report card arrived, and all those dreams were shattered. Jack wasn't very educated himself, so he couldn't believe what he saw. He called his friend and showed him the report. It said, Chinese, failed maths, failed physical education. Barely okay, his son had failed again. Jack's heart broke. The truth was, what the boy had been reading, thinking it was a textbook, was actually a pornographic magazine. And this time, the school had decided to start the term early, which meant the fees had to be paid earlier too. Jack was already deep in debt trying to support his son's education. Now a new school year was beginning, and the debt collectors were pressing harder. But Jack was a father with a dream to see his son succeed, and he wasn't going to give up so easily. He thought of his son's old friend, Peter, who had now become an officer. Jack made up his mind, but this time, the school fees also included 20 yuan for a new uniform. Even though last year's uniform had only been worn twice, Jack was now in a dilemma. He had been working as a janitor at the school for 30 years. He was still wearing the same jacket he'd worn for the last 15 years. He never bought anything for himself, but he was ready to do anything for his son. After his wife passed away, he had brought his son to this school. Because of his long-standing connection with the school staff, they agreed to admit his son. He had thought it was a golden opportunity, but now it was starting to feel like a burden. Peter, on the other hand, had grown up poor, but now carried himself with the pride of the rich. When he wore slippers and saw someone barefoot, he'd act arrogant. And when he saw someone with proper shoes, he felt inferior and became angry. One day, he met an old friend from childhood, but Peter didn't even acknowledge him. He felt ashamed seeing his friend looking poor. Meanwhile, Jack kept bringing up the topic of the school uniform fee, hoping Peter would offer to help. Just then, Peter walked in angrily, didn't even greet anyone. Seeing this, Jack's friend quietly left. Even after witnessing his son's rude behavior, Jack said nothing, not a single word. He quietly folded his old clothes, then he went to his son, showed him the report card, and after a long pause asked, "Failed again?" The son replied, "Even Harry failed. He failed twice." But Harry had a rich father. Jack didn't know how to respond. He just quietly sat down on the bed. After a while, he said, "Son, getting a chance at education isn't easy. Don't compare yourself to others."